So I've been using Runner for about a year, and do I recommend it? Would I use it? Has it helped me get PBs? And this video we're going to look at all that, and also looking at how to make a custom plan that's fit for you. And we'll talk about it as we go along and how can we use it to help us get a PB. The big question I wanted to cover is, can you use Runner to help you get your next PB? And the answer is yeah. Runna is a coaching platform. There are others out there, and equally, if you are truly keen to get as good as you can, as quick as you can, then hiring a coach that understands you and knows your capabilities, it can tailor a plan specifically for you, might be a better shout. But not everybody can afford to have a running coach, or wouldn't necessarily want to take that step and that leap, which is where Runner can come in. So we're going to use it today and have a look. Just about to start myself a new plan. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Marathon Matty. I've just sort of rebranded myself. This channel was used for other stuff previously. Today I hit a new PB on my 5K. So here's a couple of screenshots and stats from that run. I was not in a good place starting it. I've just finished a marathon block. In fact, last Sunday, which was the 25th of May, today being the 31st, I did my second ever marathon and managed to have a huge sort of PB, I guess, of 3 hours and 6 minutes and 43 seconds. So that 5K I did today, I was not, it was not a good day for a perfect PB attempt. But the opportunity arose. Saturday mornings is normally a time where I do some other training. That wasn't happening because there was a High Rocks event on. So I used it, I went for it. I'll show you my HRV now, which is an indicator of how recovered and in good position your body and it is to do a hard effort. And as you can see, it was quite low, which means that it was never going to be like the optimal time to do a hard effort like this. And I'm sure a few people in the comments and I've already been told by a few people, you shouldn't have done that. And yeah, fair enough. Okay, 6 days post marathon when you've done 100% effort, probably don't go for a 5K PB attempt, but I went for it, I did it. And all of this sort of build and plan I've been using Runner for. So what is Runner? So if I go to the home screen of Runner, we load it up. There you go, it shows me my 18:21 time today, which was insanely hard. So for those of you that have not seen Runner or used it before, we're going to have a little bit of a deep dive through the app and more importantly, building a plan. Soon I'm going to be using it to build a new marathon plan. I've got October, I've got Chicago marathon coming up, and I've also got a half marathon, in September. And one of the new features of Runner is it allows you to do a B race. So we'll test that functionality and I'll do another video for that Runner build when it comes to them. But that plan is about 7 weeks away from me wanting to kick it off, which has left a beautiful time of 7 weeks for me to have a plan. So let's build our current plan. In fact, I'll have a look at the current one just so we can see, because it reckons I can do a 17:30 to 18 minutes. Let me just remind myself of this plan settings. I am doing it on my phone, and this plan was starting on the 2nd of June and going all the way to the 20th of July. So I'll replicate that when I do it. For those of you that have not used Runner before, all you do is click on Manage Plan, which is that right button there. And if you click on that, you've got the option to start a new plan at the bottom. You can edit your current plan, and a lot of the settings we're about to go to do are based on the a lot of the settings that we're about to go through, you can go back in and modify and it will recreate your plan there. And you can see the plan end date is the 19th of the 7th, starting on the 2nd. So let's do it. Let's click Start a New Plan. And the first thing it's going to do is ask, what are we trying to do? Before you start any plan, I've got one key bit of advice for you, which is kind of why I did this today, my PB attempt. It is to know what your current ability is. So it's no good saying that you can run a 4-hour marathon if that's what you did 6 months ago, because that is not necessarily what your current fitness is. So if you're going to start a new plan, I would say get a good understanding of what your today fitness is. So go out and do a 5K, or plan it for next Saturday that you go out and do a 5K parker and just do a full send, so that at least you can sort of base it on something accurate that is you now, not you 6 months ago, 3 years ago, or whatever. So yeah, the more accurate you can give it as now information, the better. Your watch, if you've got one, might tell you this sort of stuff. So feel free to check on that, see what it thinks you can do now, and just base it on that if you don't want to go out and do a 5K. But I did the 5K. So that you've got loads of options you can do. You can even make a sort of a bespoke plan, or run a specific distance, but 5K improvement plan is what I want to do for now. So I am going to use this preset. It doesn't preset much, but if there's a plan there that jumps out to you that you want to do, great. Or you can tell it to run a specific distance or race. So if I could click on race, and if in fact, let me see if I can search the Chicago Marathon in here. See if it's going to come up. Chicago, I know it's in October the 12th. So if I scroll ahead, there you go, the Run for Kicker Chicago Marathon. So I could select it there if that's what the plan I was building, or go find your race. So you got those options there, but I'm going to click 5K improvement plan because that's all I'm going to do. And this is where you get to start customizing. If you've done intervals before, tempo runs, that kind of thing, it does give you a bit of description of each of these. Because I've done a few back-to-back plans now and I'm used to it, I'm not only going to tick elite, but I'm going to tick the option for extra mileage. In my marathon plan I've just done, I was running up to 115 kilometers a week. So I'm going to tick that option. Obviously pick something that's suitable for yourself when you do this. Take your time, you can always redo it later. And you can see by you can base it based on what it says there. But if you've done structured training before, in any description, that elite's fine for me. And I've clicked the extra mileage as well. So what's your current estimated race time? Now, because I was not recovered for my 5K today, I reckon I could do better than that now, with a few days of extra recovery, a week or so. So I'm not going to choose that. I can use my marathon because that was my most recent max effort. I was recovered enough, so I'll keep that. And then it asks you how often you'd like to run in a given week. For me, it's always 6 days because Saturday I've got something else that I always do. Or you might want to use it as a rest day. So factor in your life, what you're able to commit to, so you do get a bit of freedom of choice of how to do this. So for me, because I know Saturday morning I've got a specific high rock session, I'm only going to choose 6 days. And it does ask what days you can train because it will build your plan around that. For me, it's easy again. As you know, Saturdays are not there. I could have an extra rest day, and I might do that in the future if I want to, but from experience, I'm okay with training every day as long as a good portion of my sessions are easy. So which way do you want to do your long run? I am quite traditional and do the long run on the Sunday. I think it works best for me. So I'm going to click continue. When do you want to start your new plan? Well, actually Monday, because I believe that is the 2nd. So that works well for me. And how long do you want it to be? So it says here a custom end date. Well, you've got a few options, standard plans, but I'm going to go for a custom end date. Because I know that I want the plan to end on the 19th of July, and I'm going to race on the Saturday morning. That's when I'm going to do my 5K. I'm going to select the 19th of July on my plan and click continue. Now, this is where I do get to, again, these are some new features, add a bit more editing in here. So I'm going to click edit preferences, and training volume is on progressive, and currently it's putting my easy runs at a certain distance. You can see the progression curve there. I'm going to alter it and just turn it up to max because that's what I want for now. Longest run in max there. I think I might need to go back in and edit this actually. Here we go. So current longest run is 15K. Well, it's not, is it? Actually, my current longest run is 40, why can I not remember? 44.2. Is it 40? No, 42.2. What am I on about? So I'm going to set it as 43 as the marathon. It's my current longest run. Current weekly mileage as well. I've been doing 115 on the marathon build, but it won't let me do that. Here you go. Oh, let me do 107, 108. So obviously for yourselves, guys, set this what you have been doing recently in the last few weeks. So I'm trying to really customize this plan for me, to really try and pump out that extra difficulty because I'm ready for it. I've trained for it. So here we go. Let's pump these up a little bit. Cool. And difficulty, challenging. I'm going to leave that, but if I did want to do advanced customization on it, you can see I can turn the hard run difficulty up. I could up my number of hard runs, long run difficulty. I'm just going to leave this as regular for now because those sessions I have found in the past to be of an adequate difficulty. But if you did want to come back in and you felt like your sessions, whether it's the long run, your intervals or whatever, are a bit easy, then you can always edit this and come back. So I'm going to click done and continue. And now it's going to generate my plan. So what we can do is have a quick look. Well, it's set to do on the Saturday the 19th of July. That's when I'm going to do my full send 5K max effort attempt, and I'm going to click generate. So we'll see what it comes up with and how it looks in a second. Here we go. It's alive, it's ready. I'm going to click continue. And now let's have a little look. There is some welcome videos that Ben, one of the Runna owners, has released. Ben Parker look, but I'm going to click continue. It reckons in 7 weeks I can hit somewhere between 17, 13, 18 minutes. Could click see more on that if it'll let me. There we go. This is what it reckons I could do currently. 18 minutes is not far off based on the fact that I did the 18-20 today, non-recovered. So I'm just going to click continue on this. And this is some options to go into. If you did tap on any of those, it would tell you what a long run is, what a tempo run is, what intervals are, and what an easy run is. I'm going to click continue because I've seen it all before. Feel free to click onto it if you're ever doing this. And now I can start looking at my actual plan. So if I click on plan, I'm going to scroll down slightly. You can see that week 1, and actually, if you tap the top right button, the calendar button, you can kind of look at it and use this area to rearrange your weeks if you ever want to do that. I do this sometimes, knowing that I prefer to do my interval sessions on a Tuesday. So what I would rather do is switch those two, and I'll put my tempo session on a Thursday. So I usually end up rebuilding it and kind of doing that a little bit ahead in advance look. So I'll drag, come here, and get my progression run there. Long run looks fine. I'm going to click save on that. So I'll move it around. But if I look through, here it's got my plan, starting with a half marathon coming Sunday, and it slowly builds it. Week 3 gives me a bit of a deload week, you can see. So I'm going from 95k, 97k. Obviously I've asked for it to make it this difficult, guys. So, tailor it to exactly what you want and what you can do. Bring me up to 98k in week 5. And then it starts to deload me down, ready for my race 5k. So obviously I can tap into any of these and have a look. 500 meter madness. Should we have a look at that session, see what it's doing? 500 meters at 3:30 times 4, not too bad. 60 seconds rest, that's quite short. Times 3, times 4, times 3, times 2, times 1. Okay, it's like a 4, 3, 2, 1. That's an interesting session. Never seen anything like that before. Done on off 200s. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all the specifics of the plan. We've built the plan. One of the things I can do now, though, is if I click on Manage Plan again, it should allow me to edit my current plan. So I could add a holiday in. I could, well, I'm not going to share it, but one of the things I did notice is the elevation profile is set to flat, but I want to add in rolling if I can, or set it to slightly hillier because I do want to do a bit more hill training for future marathons and stuff. So I'm going to set it to rolling and update it. And what it should do now is factor in that I want to do a bit of extra hill work, and it should update it for me. So there we go, it's updated. I think I did this earlier on a test plan and noticed a few other things. I'll show you in 1 second. Obviously here as well, I could add a B race in if that was there. I could set up strength, Pilates, mobility. So I've got options to completely edit all of these bits. Anything that I've set it on the running ability. If I go to my training preferences again, where I set the difficulty, the training volume, the weekly mileage, any of that I can edit, and it would rebuild that plan for me. So if I go back now and we have a look back in, and you can see it's added a rolling on my Sunday long run. So let's go and have a look at that and see what my run is. I think what it wants me to do is, I think that basically means go do it in an area that's got a few, some rolling hills. I think that's just the long and short of it. I don't know if it's going to have added any specific sort of hill sessions in at that. It's kind of hinting that on a few of these sessions, it wants me to add in some rolling hills. I don't see it on any of the easy runs, just the long run. I wonder if that's all it does, or if it does, if I set on a hillier profile. Anyway, the point of this is I wanted to show you some of the options you've got to make Runna more difficult if you want it to be, or obviously simpler if you're trying to build the best plan for yourself. And obviously it will factor in some elements. You can move stuff around to suit you, look ahead at your week's events, add in secondary races, put in holidays. It gives you a little bit of a break. This is why I've sort of got a lot of value out of Runna, because I've played around with it and got it knows my pace, it knows what I can do. And one of the best things you can do in here, if you go into the extra settings and sort of connected apps and devices, I've got it so it's automatically connected to my Garmin and it's automatically connected to my Strava, which means that all these workouts, it automatically puts them on my watch. So those interval sessions, for example, it's already programmed in there. So I don't need to build it. It will just come up as is this the run you're doing today? And I'll go, yes. And then it's all done. And all those whatever sessions it's doing or rests, the watch will bleep at me and tell me what to do. So I don't have to think. It takes all the thinking out of it, which is why actually I find some of the biggest value in using Runna. And having it as part of making my life easy, from both training, giving me progressive overload, and working and increasing that weekly mileage, factoring in recovery and deloads, tapering as well, and all these things are taken care of. So hopefully you all found something interesting or something new or something you didn't know previously about Runna.